When we take our last breath, what truly happens? The question lingers in the quiet spaces of our hearts, ever present, yet seldom spoken aloud. It is a mystery that has haunted humanity since the dawn of consciousness, a riddle whispered by the wind, pondered under starlit skies, and contemplated in the hush of hospital rooms. The final exhalation, the gentle flutter of lungs surrendering to stillness, marks a boundary we all must cross, yet none can describe from the other side. In that moment, when the body slackens and the world falls away, what awaits us? Is it oblivion, a return to the silence from which we came? Or is it a passage, a transformation, a reunion with something greater than ourselves? To seek answers, let us first turn to the realm of science, where curiosity burns like a lantern in the dark. Here, life is measured in heartbeats and brainwaves, in the ceaseless dance of cells and the electrical symphony playing within our skulls. Scientists speak of the dying process as a cascade, a shutting down of systems, an unraveling of the intricate tapestry that is the human body. The heart falters, the breath slows, and the brain, starved of oxygen, flickers and fades. In the final seconds, some describe a surge of neural activity, a last burst of energy as the mind slips away. Is this the brain's desperate attempt to hold on to life, or a final gift, a flood of memories, a montage of love and laughter, a luminous farewell? Some who have hovered at the edge of death return with tales of tunnels and lights, of voices calling and warmth enfolding them. The scientific mind hesitates, searching for explanations in chemistry and neurology. Perhaps these visions are the byproducts of a brain in crisis, hallucination are conjured by the release of endorphins and neurotransmitters. Perhaps the sensation of floating, of leaving the body, is the mind's way of coping with trauma. Yet, even as they analyze, the scientists admit their limits. The moment of death is elusive, a threshold shrouded in uncertainty. No instrument can record the passage of a soul. No scan can capture the essence of what it means to cease to be. Beyond the laboratory, the question takes on new shapes, colored by the hues of culture, faith, and hope. In the realm of spirit, death is not an ending, but a doorway. Ancient Egyptians imagined the soul sailing across celestial waters, weighed against the feather of truth. Hindus and Buddhists speak of reincarnation, of lives spinning like beads on an endless thread, each death a shedding of the old and a birth into the new. For Christians, death is a homecoming, a return to the embrace of a loving Creator, a place where pain and sorrow melt away. Muslims envision gardens of peace, a reunion with those gone before, a reckoning and a reward. All these visions shimmer with yearning, each a reflection of our deepest hopes and fears. We long to believe that love endures, that consciousness persists, that the story continues beyond the final page. The rituals we create, candles lit, prayers whispered, ashes scattered on the wind, are bridges we build across the chasm of loss. They are ways of saying that the bonds we forge in life cannot be severed by death. That memory and meaning survive even as the body crumbles to dust. Yet there are those who see death as the ultimate liberation. In the Buddhist tradition, the dissolution of the self is not a tragedy, but a release from suffering, a return to the boundless sea of being. the ego dissolves. The boundaries of I and you fade, and the soul merges with the infinite. This is not annihilation, but transcendence, a coming home to the heart of existence. The breath that leaves the body is not lost, but joins the great wind that moves through all things. Philosophers, too, have wrestled with the enigma of our final breath. Some, like Epicurus, have counseled us not to fear death, for when it comes, we will not be there to experience it. Death, he argued, is simply the absence of sensation, a dreamless sleep from which none awaken. Others, like Socrates, have greeted death as a friend, a chance to discover what lies beyond the veil. To fear death, gentlemen, he said before drinking the hemlock, is only to think ourselves wise without being wise, for it is to think we know what we do not know. Still others, like the existentialists, remind us that the awareness of our mortality is what gives life its urgency and beauty. To know that our time is finite is to cherish each moment, to love more fiercely, to create and to care. Death, in this view, is not the enemy, but the teacher, the shadow that sharpens the light. Every breath, every heartbeat is precious because it will end. The poets and mystics have found their own language for the mystery. They speak of death as a lover, a gentle guide, a passage into new realms of being. Rainer Maria Rilke wrote, "Death is our friend, precisely because it brings us into absolute and passionate presence with all that is here, that is natural, that is love." Mary Oliver asked, "Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life?" A question that echoes with the awareness that this life, for all its glory and pain, is fleeting. When we take our last breath, perhaps it is not an ending, but a transformation. The body which has carried us so far returns to the earth, nourishing new life. The atoms that once danced in our veins become part of trees, rivers, and clouds. The love we have given, the kindness we have shown, ripple outward, touching lives we may never know. In this way, something of us endures, woven into the fabric of the world. And what of consciousness, that flickering flame behind our eyes? Some say it is extinguished, a candle snuffed out by the wind. Others believe it is carried onward, a spark leaping from fire to fire, life to life. Perhaps the truth is both simpler and more profound than we can imagine. Perhaps in that final moment, we awaken to a reality beyond words, a unity we have always longed for, but could never fully grasp. The mystery remains vast and unsolvable. Yet, in pondering it, we are drawn closer to one another, united by our shared fate. We are all travelers on the same road, moving toward the same horizon. To contemplate our last breath is not to despair, but to live more deeply, to love more fully, to forgive and to hope. For in the end, it is not the answer that matters, but the journey, the courage to ask the question, the willingness to face the unknown, the grace to let go when the time comes. When we take our last breath, may it be with gratitude for the gift of life, with peace in our hearts, and with faith, whatever form that may take, that the story does not end, but changes, continues, and becomes something new. So, let us not fear the final breath, but honor it as the culmination of all that we are. Let us remember that every breath we take is a miracle. every heartbeat a testament to the wonder of existence. And when the time comes to release that breath, let us do so with love, with the knowledge that we have lived, that we have mattered, and that in some mysterious way, we will always be a part of the great song of the universe. In the hush that follows, in the silence that falls, there is a promise, not of oblivion, but of transformation. The river returns to the sea, the spark to the flame, the soul to the mystery from which it came. And in that return, there is hope, not just for ourselves, but for all who come after, for all who breathe and dream and wonder. Thus, the question remains, when we take our last breath, what happens next? The answer is written in the stars, in the turning of the seasons, in the laughter of children and the tears of parting. It is a secret held close by the universe, a story still unfolding. And as we live, as we love, as we prepare for that final letting go, we become part of that story. Each of us a note in the symphony of life. Each of us a thread in the tapestry of being. May we walk this path with courage and compassion. May we cherish the moments we are given. And when the time comes to take our last breath, may we do so with the certainty that we have lived well, that we have loved deeply, and that, in the end, all is well.